Hello, guys. How are you doing? Oh, you know what? I don't have my webcam turned on. I have the regular. Let me see, because that's a better. Let me see if I can switch it while I'm live. Hold on. Let me see. Okay, yes. For some reason, that gives me more light. Let me move it down so it doesn't like fall off my laptop. It's perched precariously up here. Okay, there we go. It's a little bit bright. It's almost like too bright, but it's too dark the other way. Okay, so it looks like I only have a few people watching, which is normal because we're just in SVG Clubhouse today. So I don't need to introduce myself. I hope y'all know who I am, right? But good afternoon, and I hope y'all are doing well today. I'm sitting here with all my glitter, trying to decide what colors to use because I'm going to paint with a little bit different colors for this example today. So if you are watching, then say hello and tell me what's going on today. Hey, is it Deetra or Detra? I don't know how you would explain that to me other than telling me something it rhymes with in the comments. I'm not really sure, but I don't want to pronounce it wrong. I'm sorry. Okay, so we are painting. So y'all, this month, this is like my favorite month. Like I hope y'all love these files because I love these files, but I'm a nautical person. Like I just had a lot of requests for nautical. If you're not a nautical person, I'm sorry. Hopefully there'll be something you'll love next month. Okay, which one did I say first? Now I don't know if I said Deetra or Detra first. Okay, I'm going to say Deetra and then Detra. Now which one is it first? Long E, that's Deetra. I'm going to say that one first. Now tell me again. The comments are delayed, so I'll see your comment in a minute. Okay, so I'm going to do a little bit different of a color scheme today. I just wanted to do something different. I don't like to paint the same thing exactly the same over again. So this will not look exactly like the example. Long E, Deetra, right? That is long E, if I remember correctly from elementary school. Okay, so anyway, we are going to be painting the little rainbow tabletop sign, which I'm super excited to paint. And I've got all my little pieces cut out here today. All right, let me do the backer first. It has been an eventful day over here. I woke up this morning to a computer keyboard that did not want to work at all. My computer, so I have a MacBook. I am a, ooh, ouch, got my fingernail. I am a MacBook person. Like I'm a all things Apple. I love all things Apple. So they all, I have all of the Apple things and they all talk to each other, and that's just what I've gotten used to. So that's what I use for my business. So for a while, I've had a couple of keys that have been sticking. Y'all, this is just white paint, white Deco Art, Americana, matte acrylic paint. Okay. This is the big bottle that they sell in Hobby Lobby. So anyway, my keys have been sticking. So a couple of the keys, and then they started doing this weird thing where they would type the same letter. If I hit it once, it would type like 4 letters in a row. So it took me a really long time to type. And that was a bit frustrating. And I just kind of went along with it because I thought that I would have to turn my laptop in for like a week to the Apple store, and I cannot part with my computer for a week because I use it every day for my business. So I just put up with it. Well, this morning I woke up and my keyboard did not want to work at all. And I was like, oh, Lord. Of course, on a day I have a live scheduled for y'all. That always happens. So I booked it up to the Apple store. Y'all, I've never, as long as I've had Apple products, I've never actually like gone to the Apple store and stood in line and like talked to someone and had them help me. I've called them. I've ordered all my Apple products from the store online. So I've just never needed to go to the store. Let me tell you, hugely, hugely impressed because I walked in there. I told my husband this morning, I called him, my computer's 5 years old. And I said, I think my computer has had it. I think I'm going to have to get a new computer. And I knew how expensive that would be, but I thought, okay, well, it's a business expense. It's to be anticipated. That just happens. It's been 5 years. So he's like, okay, well, if they have to buy one, you have to buy one. So I go up there and I walked in the store and I said, I need to buy a new computer, but I also need to get this one running well enough to use it as a backup. So they set me up with what do they call it? a Genius Bar appointment, which is where they like fix things. And then they set me up with a sales appointment. Okay. So 2 different things, different times. But I'm like, okay, but I can't be here that long because I have a video this afternoon that I have to do. So I need to leave here with a working computer within an hour. They were like, okay. So the guy that helped me, literally in 20 minutes, had my computer completely working again, took all this old stuff off of it that I didn't need so that it was running faster and working better because I had a bunch of junk on there that I did not need. And then he replaced a couple of keys on my keyboard, and he cleaned my keyboard, and he just got it working again. And I just was so thankful. Never once did he ask me or did he pressure me to still buy a new computer. He never mentioned it. I even said I might still be thinking about buying one because I kind of feel like I need a backup in case this crashes because that's scary, blah, blah, blah. Y'all, no sales pressure whatsoever. Fixed my computer in 15 minutes. I was out of there. I could not be more pleased, honestly. I was super impressed. So if you guys use Apple, sorry, I'm shaking the camera. If you guys use MacBooks like I do, or if you're an Apple person and you haven't, been up there to experience that, I can assure you, at least my store was so, so helpful. So anyway, so I did not have to buy a new computer today. Yay. And I got home in plenty of time to still get everything ready for my live. Okay, so here's our little pieces. And you can either, I'm sorry, my sweatshirt is choking me. I can't stand anything around my neck. Are y'all like that? I hate anything around my neck. I cannot stand a turtleneck. Okay, so here's our frame. And then if you want to, the little dots here, if you want to keep those and paint them, you can, or you can just leave them out. I think in the first example, I did leave them in. I think I even scored them instead of cutting them. But this time I cut them out, and I'm just going to like leave them out. So anyway, I'm sorry, my nose is like itching today, y'all. Let's see. I have a Mac, iPad, and iPhone, and love how they talk to each other. Yes, see, that's my thing. And my husband is not an Apple person. He does not like my MacBook. If he ever has to get on there and do anything, he gripes about it because the keyboard, like the scrolling, is different on a MacBook than it is on a PC. So he's like, I cannot do anything on this MacBook. I don't like the way it scrolls and blah, blah, blah. And, first world problems, right? But I left there and I called him and I said, let me tell you something. I said, if you had gone in there today, you would, I'm going to leave this little guy that cuts out in the middle. I'm just going to have these kind of separate like that. I said, I would have converted you to an Apple person. I assure you I would have, because the customer service was just top notch. So anyway, that was my morning. So I stopped on the way home and I got my Starbucks, right? Okay. Not how I planned my morning to go. So then I was rushing around to try to get caught up. And I have to go to the vet this afternoon to get my animal cement. Dog is just itching, and my cat has tummy issues, and I have to go get them some medicine. Okay, what colors are we going to do here? We are going to do, all right, so the colors I've picked out are Calypso Blue, because I had that on my desk from something I painted yesterday or the day before, and I love that color. And then I'm going to use Periwinkle. And then this one is my go-to, favorite color, Sea Breeze. And then I grabbed 2 of the glitters. This is my big pack of glitter from Amazon. You can use any kind of glitter you want. This is extra fine. And the colors that I picked out, which of course are not going to match your colors unless you get the exact same set, but this is a green blue, which goes with the Sea Breeze. And then this one is called Holographic Blue, which goes pretty well with the Calypso color. Whoops. So those are some glitters that I'm going to show y'all how to do. All right, so let's push these over here. Let's do the frame first. And I'm going to use my Waverly Antique Wax Brown, okay, which looks like a stain, but it's not a stain, which is what I love about it. And it's a great color. It's not too dark, not too light. It's just an awesome color. So let's see what brush I'm going to use for that. Probably this one. So I have to go to the vet this afternoon, which not sure if y'all know, but my father-in-law is a vet. So I just need to run over there and talk to him after this. And luckily, I don't have to take my animals with me this time because my dog loves to travel. He loves to ride. I might take him anyway, just because he loves to ride. But my cat, if y'all have cats, I don't know about your cats, but my cat sings the song of his people in the back of my car. So that is not pleasant. He does not like to ride in the car, which I don't think is unusual for cats. All right, so you can spread this on with a baby wipe. You can do a sponge, a makeup sponge, whatever. I just had a brush handy and I'm just brushing it on. And I'm only doing one coat because I don't want it to be too dark. And I'm doing a light coat because I want it to have a stained look to it. That's why I said you could use a baby wipe and just like wipe most of it off if you want to. Has anybody made this file yet? If you have, feel free to post a picture in the Facebook group. I would love to see your version of it. I always love to see other people's versions of my files so that it just, I don't know. Sometimes I don't think outside the box and you guys do. And you come up with ideas and I'm like, oh yeah, that looks awesome. Why didn't I think to do it that way? So I just love seeing different takes on the files. FYI, we will be opening the doors in May to new members. I haven't picked the exact date yet. I'm thinking mid-May, but I'm not sure. I have to look at the calendar and see the exact day. But we are going to be opening up. So if you know anyone who wants to join, then tell them to go to lulubeandesigns.com and click on SVG Clubhouse, and they can get on the waiting list to be notified. Let's see. Deetra, I know it's hard to keep track of the files in the groups for sure. You can go under your groups, and I think you can click. There's something under groups where you can set your notifications so that those notifications from those groups come up at the top of your feed every time. Because I know I've done that before. It's been a while, but I know there is a way to do it if that helps. And then as far as the files go, I have a hard time keeping my files organized. So I just have multiple folders within a folder on my desktop that I just categorize as like, I have different categories for the holidays. I have different categories for door hangers, for tiered tray sets, for letterboard sets, all the things. So I just kind of keep them organized that way. Hey, Laura, how are you? All right, so we've got our frame done. And as usual, I'm looking for a place to stick it while we paint the rest. All right, so then I'm going to start with some Calypso blue on my paper plate here. And brush. The right side brush for that. All right, so tell me, just to keep conversation going, what is your favorite Starbucks drink, or what's your favorite coffee drink? I'm going to have to keep that in mind. My files are everywhere. I know, believe me, I don't have them all organized exactly right. I definitely have some that I've probably put in the wrong category, but I try. You could also, you know what might be a good idea? I have not done this, but it just dawned on me. So what if every time you buy or, get a file for free, or however you get a file, every time you get a new file, you snap a screenshot of it and save it, and then you make a Pinterest board for it. I guess you wouldn't do that from a screenshot. I guess you would pin it from wherever you're buying it from or downloading it from. So pin it, but then you'll pin the image. Does that make sense? If anybody has a better way to organize them, feel free to comment and let us know. But I'm thinking like a Pinterest board, you could have different Pinterest boards for all the files. And that way it gives you the visual of what you have. I would like to make this file in a door hanger size. So does anybody in the group not know how to resize your files? So if you're watching this, comment and tell me. So say you wanted to take this rainbow tabletop sign and make it into a door hanger size. Does anybody not know how to do that? Because I can do a quick training video and put it in the group. Now it would be using Inkscape, because Inkscape is the most common one that everybody can use that's free. So I don't want to do it in Silhouette Business, and then some people don't have Silhouette Business, or Lightburn. A lot of people don't have Lightburn, but I could do it in Inkscape because Inkscape is free and anybody can get Inkscape. And that way, at least you know how to quickly open a file, resize it, save it back, and be able to use it. Does that make sense to y'all? I have my water. My water's way over here. I'm trying to dip my brush in my coffee. All right, so let's do some sea breeze next. My favorite drink is anything mocha white chocolate. That sounds really good. Mocha white chocolate's sweet. I used to love my coffee sweeter than I do now. I've kind of gotten away from the really sweet flavors. I definitely used to like it a lot sweeter. I am drinking, this is just a plain latte. That's so boring, isn't it? It's not my favorite thing, but I'm trying to watch my calories because, you know, swimsuit season is around the bend, y'all. That's a frightening thought. So I'm basically doing that 1 meal a day diet. Has anybody done that diet? The OMAD, 1 meal a day? I'm not doing exactly according to the rules because I do put stuff in my coffee, and they say to drink your coffee or your tea black. Okay, so that is not a rule that I'm following. I do realize that it may not work as well that way, and that's okay. But I am not one of those people that can drink black coffee, and I'm not giving up my coffee with creamer. I will do sugar-free creamer, or like either milk or half and half, and like some sugar-free sweetener, like monk fruit. I like monk fruit sweetener, probably the best. So I will do that. But you know, so I'm not doing my Dunkin' extra that I really want to do, right? Yes, yuck, black coffee, agreed. So y'all, so many of my friends at my age, okay, a lot of my friends who are my age have tried to get me to go to black coffee. They're like, oh, you'll get used to it, you know. You liked it sweeter when you were younger, but you'll, ooh, this is not shaken up very well. Hold on. They're like, you'll get used to it. You'll love it. You'll love black coffee. No, y'all. Not this girl. Sorry. Ain't happening. Okay, that is still not, that's very watery. Hold on. We're going to have to shake that up better. I think that might be, well, no, I've used it before. It's not brand new. Maybe it's just one of those watery colors. Oh my goodness, Laura, you've never had coffee? Have you never tried it? Your husband drinks black coffee? My husband will drink black coffee. He doesn't drink it like that every day, but like he says that if he's at work, he just drinks it black. But I can't do that. All right, this did mix much better. I just had to give it a good shake. So this is the periwinkle. And I'm only having to do one coat on each of these so far. If you shake your paint really well, this brand of paint doesn't always need 2 coats. Now, the colors that I think need 2 coats are yellow, orange, and pink. And white, of course, always white. But there's something about yellow, orange, and pink that always need that second coat. I'm a cool colors person. Do y'all know what I mean by cool colors? Like I typically gravitate towards the blues and the greens. I don't typically go for the reds, orange, and yellows. All right, so on this one, I'm going to go back to this Calypso blue color. My daughter and her friends just got home from school. They're seniors, so they have early release, and they're upstairs making all sorts of teenage girl giggly noises if you hear anything. So right now they're doing Senior Assassin. Do y'all know what Senior Assassin is? It's hilarious. It's where they all get squirt guns and they are assigned a person, a target, and they have to go and get that person out. And then it keeps getting narrowed down and narrowed down until finally at the end, the person who wins gets like $600 because they each put in like $10. Let's see. What color am I going to do for that? All right, I think I'm going to do sea breeze for that and do some glitter on it. So yeah, so my daughter was real excited about it and she went and got her squirt gun. You've never had coffee. It smells gross and can't drink hot chocolate because it's hot. Oh my goodness, I love hot drinks. Laura, I will drink piping hot coffee in 100 degrees summer weather. It does not matter. I'm not an iced coffee person. I like a frappuccino every now and then, but I'm just not an iced coffee person. And all right, I'm gonna get my glitter ready because I want to, while this is wet, I want to put this glitter on. So I need a piece of printer paper because I'm gonna show y'all how I do it. I'm gonna grab some printer paper. Hold on. So what was I talking about? Oh, the Senior Assassin. Yeah, so my poor daughter, she's already out, and here it is only like the 4th day. So she went over. You're not allowed to get them on school property, but you can get them at their house. You can get them at their work, you know, whatever. And hey, Cindy, how are you? And so they go to each other's work and each other's house a lot. And, you know, all the parents know. So all the parents are looking out for these kids hiding in the bushes. And so she went over to get the girl that she was assigned to out, and she had her car parked a little bit down the street. And her girlfriend, the girl that she was supposed to get out, apparently was coming home with her boyfriend, and her boyfriend pulls into the driveway. First, they circled around and they saw him, and they left. And so they're like, oh, they obviously saw us because they left. But then they came back and they parked in the driveway. So then she said she heard him get out of the car, and they're having a conversation about, like, I think they left or something like that. But she said the conversation was probably staged because what ended up happening is that the boyfriend, my daughter, was his target. So here she is thinking she's going to get the girl out, and the guy jumps out of the truck and squirts my daughter and gets her out. So she's like, I'm the unluckiest person ever. How did that work out like that? So anyway, I just thought that was so funny. So she's already out, but her friend that's over here is not out. So she called me. She FaceTimed me right before I was going live, and she's like, Mom, look outside. Is there anybody out there in a car or, like, you know, hiding or anything like that? So I had to look, and I'm like, no, and the dog hasn't acted like there's anybody outside. So I think you're in the clear. So it's so funny. It's just hilarious to watch them play this game. Okay, so I painted my little starfish with my sea breeze color, and I'm going to just I have a piece of printer paper that I folded in half, and I'm just going to sprinkle my glitter on there while the paint's nice and wet. Put a good amount of paint on there, and so you can get it while it's nice and wet, and then just shake it off like that. And then, because these glitter containers are tiny. So I just have to be real careful when I try to get the paint. I keep saying paint, the glitter back into them. So I just kind of do that. That's why I fold the paper in half. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and put the top back on because I have so many of these over on my desk and got glitter everywhere. All right, so there's our cute little starfish, all sparkly. Isn't that cute? I love working with glitter. I know some people hate it, but it does get everywhere, but I really love working with it. All right, so then let's go ahead and do our little octopus dudes here. And I'm going to see what color I want them to be. So let me put these in the order they're going to be in. So I'm going to do like this and like this. Okay, so I'm thinking I'm going to do, so let me do these in the periwinkle, and then I'm going to do the little top part. I'm actually going to grab my Posca pen here that looks like Sea Breeze and do the top. Sorry, my chair keeps getting stuck on my rug. I love that there's a Posca pen that matches the Sea Breeze. Not all of them have a color that matches, but there are several that I use all the time that match the paint colors perfectly. Well, it's not an exact match, but it's close enough. This is like a little bit lighter, I think. Lighter or darker? Maybe it's a little, no, I think it's a little bit lighter. It's hard to tell when I'm just doing this little bit of paint on here. But alrighty. Now, I don't think I have a color that goes with the periwinkle, so I'm going to have to do the best I can, and I'm going to find the tiniest brush, the tiniest little angled brush. Oh, that's a really tiny angled brush. I have a little bitty one. Make sure I've got my glasses positioned so I can see, because this is pretty detailed. Now I've cut this out of 1/4 inch, but you can cut it out of 1/8 inch if you want to. Either one will work, but y'all know I have 1/4 inch on hand because I cut blanks, and I always have a garage full of it. And it's cheaper than 1/8 inch. Oh, thank you, Cindy. What do you guys want to see in upcoming files? Like, not just for the group, but like for in my Etsy shop. Like, what are y'all into right now? Is everybody wanting to see summer? Is anybody wanting to see patriotic? I'm not going to tell you what they are for next month yet because I'm still working on them. And sometimes I change my mind. That's just part of my creative process. I will start making something, and then all of a sudden I'll get this idea and I'll switch gears a little bit. So I haven't completely finished them. So I don't want to tell you yet in case I change something. But I'm just looking for ideas for files for my Etsy as well. All of the above sounds good. What 1/4 inch wood do you use? Revolutionary ply doesn't work very well. No, Revolutionary ply is not. I'm not going to say anything good about Revolutionary ply. Y'all are not going to hear me say good things about Revolutionary ply. The reason is because now when I started making door hangers, I bought Revolutionary ply. It's cheap. It's readily available. It cut nicely with my jigsaw. You couldn't tell what it was once I had paint on it. But if you are lasering wood, you are in a different class of wood, okay? You are going to have to move up to something a little bit pricier and a little bit nicer than Revolutionary ply because it's full of glue. It's got a lot of glue pockets. Plywood has layers and it has glue pockets. And glue pockets are what that's what wreaks so much havoc when you're cutting with a laser, because it won't cut through those glue pockets. So that means that you end up with like some really nicely cut areas and some not so nicely cut areas. Okay, so I buy 1/4-inch maple ply from Lowe's. I buy it by the not bundle, pallet, the pallet. And my husband and I cut it down. We have a, sorry, I can't talk and paint. Y'all know. It's not a slide saw. I always hunt for my words when I'm painting because I get distracted. It's a, what do you call it? I don't really even know what it's called. Track saw. It's a track saw. And it's basically a circular saw, but it comes with a flat guide that you lay down on the wood. And that's what you slide the saw along so that you can get it in a straight line. So basically, we have the pallet of wood and we take an old piece that we cut from the last pallet. So we know exactly what size we want it to be. And we lay it down and we draw a pencil line. And then we move it over to the next section and we draw a pencil line again. Okay, so once we do that on that top piece of wood, we don't have to put those marks on any of the other pieces. We just keep on cutting down the pallet. But that first set of marks lets us know where to lay our track for our track saw. So we lay the flat piece down and we put our saw down and we slide it across. So he's on one side, he pushes it across, I'm on the other side, I grab it and I pull it the rest of the way towards me. And then we move down to the next section. So basically you've got a 4x8 piece of plywood and we're cutting it at 3 feet and then we're cutting it again 3 more feet. Okay, so it's 6 feet. And then so that leaves us with 2 feet on the end. Okay, so we've got a 3x4, a 3x4, and a 2x4. And those are the pieces that we use to put in my Thunder laser, okay? I do not typically cut the 1/4-inch maple. I don't ever cut the 1/4-inch maple in my Glowforge. The reason is because it's thick. It is thick, heavy, substantial wood. I would have to probably do multiple passes with my Glowforge to cut that thick of a wood. But if you have a big laser, then I highly recommend it. What I typically put in my Glowforge is either MDF or 1/8-inch wood. There is the option of 1/4-inch birch, which for me, I have to purchase at Home Depot. That will cut in the Glowforge. It's a lot slower, and sometimes you do need to do a second pass, but I can cut the 1/4-inch birch in the Glowforge because 1/4-inch birch is actually not a 1/4-inch thick. It's like 3, okay, so a 1/4-inch would be 4/32, right? Is that right? 4, 8, 12, 16. No, that's not right. 8 over 32. 8, yeah, because 8 times 4 is 32. So a 1/4-inch would be 8/30. If I'm confusing you, I'm sorry. This is the way my brain does math. 8/32. This is 5, I believe. I believe this is 5/32. 5/32 is the thickness of the birch, if I'm not mistaken. So it's not 1/8 inch and it's not 1/4 inch. It's kind of in between. Does that make sense? Am I right about that or am I getting that wrong? I swear that's what it is. It's like a little bit thinner than 1/4 inch is my whole point. Okay, so that I can cut in the Glowforge without wanting to rip my hair out. Okay, now we need to do our beach vibes words. I'm sorry if I totally just confused y'all. But the cheaper the wood is, the harder it's gonna. I keep trying to put more paint on my plate, and I have paint. All right, now I really want to paint these letters with Posca pens because they're little, and I'm going to be messy. But I want to glitter them, and I need a good amount of paint on them when I glitter them. So you're not going to achieve that look when you do a paint pen. So we're going to just suck it up and we're going to do a paintbrush. Okay. Was that too much information? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do one coat and then I'm going to go back and do a second coat. And while that second coat is wet, I am going to do the glitter. So we'll do one word at a time. And this brush, y'all, this is the pack of brushes you can get at Hobby Lobby. They're like that teal color with the gripper on them. And this one is these are angled. I prefer angled brushes. And this one is the teeny tiniest one that comes in the pack. And it is great for these little letters and for detail work. And I get quiet when I'm doing detail work. Y'all, I need to go get some socks. My feet are just freezing. It's cold in here. I'm really ready for some warm weather. I think it's supposed to be 80 this weekend, if I'm not mistaken. All right. Now, before I paint, well, actually, no, I lied. I'll go ahead and do this one, and then we'll do the second coat in the glitter. See if I'm missing any. Good morning from New Zealand. Oh my goodness, it's 5:40 in the morning. And there is still around us heading to winter. Oh, that's right. You're heading to winter in New Zealand. I can't see your name. It just says Facebook user. I don't know if you gave StreamYard permission, but sometimes it glitches and it still doesn't let me see your name. You can comment and tell us who you are. I think I know, but I'm not positive because I'm sure we don't have but one person from New Zealand. But comment and let me know. All right, so before I do this one, let's get this glitter opened up and ready to go. All right, so I'm going to put a good amount of paint on here so the glitter will stick. Here, I'll go ahead and do the bee first. Can y'all see that? I'm just glittering the bee on my piece of printer paper. And then I'm going to shake off the excess. And we've got our pretty glitter bee. And it doesn't have to be perfect because there is paint underneath it. So if there's not glitter on every little tiny section of it, that's okay. Oh, Elise, yes. That's who I thought it was. Well, thank you for watching at 5:40 in the morning. Goodness gracious. So how cold does it get where you are during the winter? Because I have no idea. Does your winter ever really get cold there? Now you may want to do half of this word and then do the other half so it stays wet enough. Sometimes I do that. So here, let's do the CH. And then we'll go ahead and do, whoops, goodness, the EA. Yeah, I'm up at 5 some mornings, but I'm generally not watching videos and stuff quite yet. We do wake up early though, my husband and I. We didn't used to. It's ironic how when we were the age, you know, we had little kids and our little kids wanted to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. That was torture for us, and we didn't want to get up at that hour. But now that they're older and they sleep in, we're the ones, instead of sleeping in, we wake up at 5 in the morning. What in the world is that? All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this glitter back in here. And I'll show y'all that up close in just a minute. And did y'all notice I made sure that the little dot on this eye was attached to the word? Because there's nothing worse than having to dig dots of eyes out of your honeycomb bed, underneath your honeycomb bed, right? That's the worst. So I try to attach them whenever it looks right. Can y'all see that? So I'm just doing a couple letters at a time, paint and then glitter. Okay, so then that is what we have. See how sparkly and pretty that is? I just love it. I love the glitter. Okay, now see, that was a pretty new vial of glitter before we started this sign. And these are tiny, okay? These, see how tiny these are? And it's still almost full. We didn't use very much out of it at all. So it does not take much glitter. All right, so now we can assemble everything. And it didn't take much paint either for this sign. Now, this could do a second coat, but you know me, I go for the distressed, rustic, the rustic look, not the rugged look on my projects. So I kind of like a little yellowing on a white background. Hold on, my glue is clogged because I never put the top back on it. I'm terrible. Terrible about that. All right, hold on. I need some scissors. I'll keep a big fat safety pin within reach. So I know we were talking about wood. One thing I will say about the wood supply that I've been getting is that it's gotten more expensive, unfortunately. It started to go down and then it went back up. What the heck? But it's not consistent either, unfortunately. So sometimes we get really good batches of wood, and sometimes we get a lot of warped pieces, a lot of pieces that just aren't as pretty, unfortunately. And that's just how it's been. I'm hoping now that the pandemic is going away, that that problem will go away, but I don't know. I'm hoping that we start to see prices come back down. My boards have gone up from, gosh, they used to be, I swear they were like $24, $25, and now they're like $33. Oh, there goes my overhead, as if on cue. Y'all know, if you know, you know. Hold the phone, y'all. Nope, it's still sideways. 1 minute. Still sideways. Flip it. Come on. There it goes. There we go. Sorry about that. No snow. Auckland, on average, 14 degrees Celsius. Okay, so 14 degrees Celsius, what is that in Fahrenheit? I'd have to convert that. You know, we do Fahrenheit. I wish we just would go to metric, because then I would have to learn it. Even as a nurse, y'all, when I first started doing nursing, we did everything in Fahrenheit. And towards the end of when I was still practicing as a nurse, they were wanting us to do everything in Celsius. And the new nurses were okay with it because that's the way they learned. But, you know, us old folks were not adjusting well, let's just say. We were not. All right, I'm trying to get all this laid out before I glue it down. Make sure we have enough room for everything. All the pieces. Nope, we still need to go up a little bit. All right, how does that look? Does that look straight? How does that look crooked on camera? It's because these are crooked. That's throwing me off. I can probably take those off now. Here, I'm gonna take them off. That's how quick stick fast dries. This backboard though is a little bit warped because I grabbed my scrap to cut my own stuff. Oh, it froze up there for a second. I think the camera's crooked is the problem. I think that's why it's giving me the crooked vibe. All right, I think that's actually pretty straight. But we get real excited when our wood is from Indonesia. Sometimes the maple will say Indonesia on the outside of the pallet, and we get real excited because the Indonesian wood is the best. I'm just trying to make sure, y'all, that I can still fit these little octopus on here. Get on there. Get on there. There we go. If the board is warped, how do you work with it? You pin it. But I don't want to sell, like I don't sell my cutouts. If it's warped, then I don't use it for my cutouts, but I'll use it for myself, like for my own projects and just for lives, because a lot of times for lives, I don't sell this stuff. I'm just showing it as an example. If I was doing it to sell, then I would be a lot more meticulous with my painting and everything. And since I'm live, that just doesn't happen. So I don't feel like it's sellable. Sometimes I give it away. Usually I just use it around my house. So yeah, you pin it down. So for the Omtech, that is going to be an Omtech 60 watt, I believe, is about the same size as my Thunder laser, if I'm not mistaken. That's a pretty big laser, right? I think that's what my friend Joy has, which she just got, which is a pretty big, but I think hers is I think she got 100 watt too. But anyway, yeah, you can cut out pins. I think there's a Facebook group that you can join if you are an Omtech laser owner. Don't they have a Facebook group? If they do, probably someone in there has shared a file for some honeycomb pins that you can purchase. And then you cut the honeycomb pins out of your wood, and then you can use them to pin down your other wood. So they're basically, a honeycomb pin is like, it's like a flat top, and then it has like a little thing that goes down in it, and you just push it down into the honeycomb bed, and it like has a lip on it, and the lip fits over the edge of your wood, so it holds the board down. That's what I mean by pin it. And that's how, if I have a piece of wood that's warped, then I will, because a lot of times like it's pretty flat on one side, but maybe this side sticks up, but I still need to put it in my laser, and I need to cut over here on the flat side, but I need to pin down the whole piece, because otherwise I'm going to have what they call a head crash, where the nozzle is going to hit my wood, and you don't want that. So, oh, you use magnets, Laura? Yeah, I've heard of using magnets. I'm afraid to use anything that's not made of wood to pin down my wood, because I'm afraid that if I accidentally have a head crash and it hits something harder than wood, that it's going to damage my nozzle. Because I've hit my honeycomb pins before and the nozzle just breaks them off. Now, I'm not saying that's good for the nozzle. I certainly didn't intend to do it, but it's the nozzle. It's kind of like rock, paper, scissors. The nozzle beats the honeycomb pin. The nozzle beats the wood. Okay. Whereas the magnet might win in that battle. I don't know. But yeah, I've heard of people using magnets. I've actually heard that you can go up to one of those inexpensive hardware stores. I'm pointing this way because we have one. I think it's actually that way. It's, what is the name of that cheap hardware store, y'all? No, not Tractor Supply. It's next to the Tractor Supply. What is that? It's not Northern Tool. Northern Tool is nice. It's that cheaper, oh shoot, I can't think of it. But anyway, we have one right up the road. Any other time I could tell you, but they have, yes, Laura, Harbor Freight. Thank you. So Harbor Freight apparently sells magnets that work with lasers. They're like big, heavy duty magnets. But again, I'm afraid that I'm going to have that head crash and it's going to damage my nozzle. Now, if you frame your project, then you know if you're going to have a head crash or not. So if you frame it, then obviously you know where your nozzle is going to be, and you know where it's going to, not going to be. So you can put your pins outside that frame. So you can do that. But anyway, if that helps. So there is our project. Isn't that cute? I love it. I love these colors. I just think they're so pretty. I love the other colors too, but I definitely love these like more blue, like periwinkle tones. Okay, so that is the project for this month. I hope y'all enjoyed that. On the 1st, I'll be releasing the May files, and the new May coupon codes. So stay tuned for that, and just comment if you have any questions. Let's see. Thank you, Deetra. Thanks so much, guys. Thank you for joining me and chatting with me today. I really appreciate it. All right, I will see you soon, friends. Bye.